All right, so we got the recording now. So we're mixing it up a little bit on the slides. We're starting with the closings right now, and so we're talking about some congratulations stuff at the beginning of the presentation rather than towards the end. So here are the recent closings we've had in the last week. Lauren and Rod have one in RPD. Congrats on that. That was a big one. And then Stephen had one on Santa Rosa that just closed as well too. Nice one as well. So congrats to Stephen and to Lauren and Rod. Laura, who surprisingly is not here. She's here all the time. She must be on vacation. Had a closing in La Miradas. Congrats to her. And Elizabeth had one in Long Beach for a lease. So congrats to her as well. So here's a new listing. So we changed this call too. So rather than having stuff kind of randomized, we're starting out with the listing rather than kind of mixing listings and leases in together. So it's a little easier to follow. And so Tatiana has a new listing in Hermosa Beach. And what's kind of cool about, how many of you guys know Tatiana? Okay, just a couple. She doesn't even live here. Right, so she she lives like in the Bahamas or something like that, and she got a listing. So you might not necessarily see her around her. She has a great listing in Hermosa Beach. If you got some clients looking down there. Okay, Raymond has socks as well. So reach out to Raymond if you have anything in that area. And then Rocio, why don't you tell us a little bit about the
Oh, yeah, okay, so that was, it's actually a short, so we just got it approved for 615, it's 2 units. And I think it's a great income property for you.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Short sale, huh? So that stuff's still around.
Yes.
And Sandra has one in Long Beach for a lease. Sandra's not here today. Move on to the next slide. And that's it for new listings. So a little light on the listings. What are some needs and wants of like buyers? For the buyers that we're working with actively right now, what are some things that buyers are looking for that we might be able to help you if we have a listing? Go ahead. So are you working with a buyer that's looking for a particular property in a specific district or small area? So kind of tell us a little bit about some of the areas.
Well, it's here in RPD.
Okay.
That's one of the.
What's the house you do for price point?
Probably like a 200.
Okay, so a little smaller place as far as that goes. So if you have anything that might be coming up that's a little smaller and at the price point, make sure that you reach out to Drew. So a great job, Drew. If anybody else has some specific things that their buyers are looking for, we might be able to help you out.
I would love more escrows.
Right? Cool. All right, let's move on to the next slide. We got Mike from Pre-Model coming up and tell us a little bit about the great things that he has available for us. So Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Great, thank you so much. Morning, everybody. Hope you all got some breakfast burritos in the back. Yeah. Right. All right. So I do recognize some of you, others I don't. So I think this might be a little bit of a refreshment for everybody, but if it's not, pleasure to be here to talk to you about Pre-Model and what we do. So my name is Mike Rimney. I'm the director of partnerships for Pre-Model. I handle Southern California. I'm going to highlight some key slides here. I'm not going to go through everything. I will send you all these resources. You'll have my contact information. I'm also going to stay till the end of the meeting so we can have one-on-one conversations about everything as well. Okay. Curiosity, how many people have heard of Pre-Model? All right. So we are a concierge service, okay? And what I mean by that is we will come in and we will help your clients maximize the profits of the sale of their home by doing home renovations for them, okay? And by maximizing the profits, we're also going to be maximizing your commissions. So it's kind of a win-win here. We are a very unique service. We will come in, we have local project directors. So we actually have project directors in the South Bay that will come meet you at your client's property. They will do a walkthrough, they will put together an estimate, and all this is free, by the way, up to this point. And then it's a great opportunity for you to talk to your client and say, hey, here's what Free Model is recommending you do to your property to maximize the profits of the sale of your home. It's going to help. It's going to help sell the home a lot faster, and it's going to make everybody happy. And so we also do post-sale home renovations too. So if you have a client, if you're a buyer's agent, you have a client that purchases a property and says, hey, I really want to fix up this kitchen, we can also accommodate that as well. So we've done a lot of projects with Keller Williams. Done a lot of projects with Keller Williams. We've done over 122, and we've actually helped your clients earn close to $16 million in additional profit. Okay. So for those of you that have never used a concierge service, you're probably asking yourself, well, why would I want to do this? One, we want to make you more valuable agents, right? You notice that there are fewer listings on the slides before. Inventory is tough, it's a little low, right? So let's have you stand out. Let's maximize your ability to win more listings, to be a valuable agent for your clients. The fact that we have project directors, it means that you guys don't have to be project managers yourself. I don't know how many of you have ever coordinated your own remodel, done anything in your own home, right? It's a full-time job, right? You guys already have working with your clients. For your clients, right? One of our values is that we fund the capital to do the project. So your client's not paying any money up front. We fund the capital and then we get reimbursed at the close of escrow. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like. So you might have clients that have money, but maybe they don't want to invest it in a remodel. Great opportunity for us to come in, manage the entire project for them, right? They have seller's fatigue. They don't want to have to manage a project themselves, which they have to. So we're going to help them out with that, right? I mentioned that we have local project directors. So in Southern California, we have about 14 project directors from Santa Barbara all the way down to San Diego. So wherever you guys are farming, wherever you have clients, we'll be able to support you, okay? And within our network, we actually have subcontractors that we bring on to the job sites, to the projects. All of our contractors, they're licensed, they're bonded and insured. We do not work with anybody that is not covered. We don't want to cause any risk or liability. Another beautiful thing about our program and our service is that if you have contractors you'd like to work with, perhaps you have a family member who has a painting business or a contracting business, we can onboard them. So we can utilize them in our network. Again, we're from capital. We just need to make sure that they're licensed, bonded, and insured. Okay. So for your clients, in order for them to qualify, one, the property cannot be in foreclosure, and there can't be any involuntary liens. After that, we just run a title, we check everything. We want to make sure that there's enough equity in the home to actually do the project. So it's a pretty straightforward formula, right? We're looking at the loan balance. What's the cost of the remodel project? That number has to be less than the 80% of the home value. Okay, so I threw some numbers in here just as an example. If the loan balance is $500K, cost of the project is $550,000 is less than 80% of $1 million, which is 800. So this will qualify, and that's what we look at. Okay. We do require the clients to sign a deed of trust with us, and that's just to protect us when we get paid, right? Because if we do a project, all of a sudden the client says, "Well, I'm not moving out of the house," we need to be paid that whole project. We do defer payment for up to a year. Okay, so after project's completed, maybe we did a kitchen remodel, painted the property. Property then gets listed for sale, and then once it's listed on the MLS, you guys, they have 1 year to sell the property, right? If it doesn't sell after a year, which has never happened before, they are required to pay us back for the project in about 10 business days. Okay. For Southern California, we're seeing about a 2.5 to 3 times return for projects. That's significant, right? If you come in as an agent and tell your client, "Hey, your property's great, it's worth 1.5. What if we get you, $2 million, right? We need to fix up a couple things. You don't have to pay any money up front. You don't have to do a single thing." And then they're walking away with a bag of cash after the sale of the home. I mean, your credibility is gonna go up, they're gonna refer you out to people, friends, family, and it's just gonna work out well. So, California, Southern California, 2.5 to 3 times return. We don't charge any interest, we don't have any hidden fees. So when we come out to bid a project, we will have everything very transparent. We present that to your clients, so they can make a decision. They decide they want to move forward, we put together a contract within about 48 hours. Once they sign that, we start work right away. So our project directors are procuring materials, they're coordinating the contractors to come out, they're providing you and your clients updates on what's going on with everything, so it's really a win-win. So let's talk a little bit about what we cover as far as our range of services. So think anything to the existing property, we will do, okay? We will do staging too. So if you just need to have staging, sometimes clients will say, hey, I would like you to pay for the staging. Don't front your own money. You shouldn't have to do that. We will do staging for you. We have stages within our network. General cosmetic work, be cleaning, painting, carpet removal, putting in vinyl flooring, landscaping, right? Those type of jobs are quick. It can take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. So we're in, we're out. And we do everything from kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels, flooring, foundational work. We will do fencing, gates. We also do asbestos, lead, and mold remediation. So what we will not do are any new additions, new builds, right? So we're not adding square footage, we're not building ADUs. We're also not going to be doing any manufactured homes, mobile homes, or any commercial properties. Pretty straightforward. So I wanted to share this with you because it's important. A lot of times you think construction, renovation, it's going to take a long time, it's going to delay the sale of a home. That is not the case. We work very quickly and very efficient. We're able to do that because we have project managers who are making sure everything's getting done according to the plan. They're able to procure the materials because they're designers by trade. So we get industry discounts, we get industry preferential treatment, I should say, where we're able to secure the materials. We also have all the contractors that are ready to go today. Right, if you go to an outside contractor, you never know if they're going to have other jobs they're working on, if they're not going to have their whole crew with them. So there are guarantees using crew model. In Southern California, the average homeowner profits around $191,000. Significant. Okay. Average commission is a little higher than that. To the, you can update that, but it's around $15,000. Which is great, right? We don't have a lot of inventory, you don't have a lot of at bats, so why not maximize your chances when you have these? I love this slide. I will send this again to you guys as well. I think this is great when talking to your clients. Our projects up to $25,000, the average homeowner profit in Southern California is around $62,000. This is after we're paid, right? So again, they don't have to do a single thing and they're walking away with additional money. As you can see, 45 to 50K, it goes a little higher, it's almost 3x. And then it goes up from there, so you can see that. I'm gonna hold off on this for now. This is kind of the steps on what we need to do.
Mike, can you go back to the other slide first?
Yes.
I mean, this is amazing because you can see that the very minimum investment, the first 2 tiers, right, like up to 50K, that's just the pricing average, and then it gives you an average profit of 3 times of what the range is. It's a no-brainer. And maybe for future meetings, you can give like a couple of projects. I don't think we have.
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they can see it, because when you walk into an appointment, especially a listing appointment, this is like great for listings all day long.
Sure.
And if you know the basic language, and if you don't, you can leverage, Mike and his team. But the seller turns into more of a savvy investor, and they want to work with you because you have the risks, right? So this is important.
I mean, if you plan on to, even if you're investing with a bank, right? If you're investing in a stock, to get that much return in such a short period of time, it's a great investment. So, our process, pretty simple. We have a contact form that you fill out that has the project information that gets processed on our back end, and then we assign you a project director. So usually it takes about a week to get somebody out to the project to do a walkthrough with you. Estimates take about 48 hours to get back to you, and then once your client agrees to moving forward, we send out the contract as I mentioned. I'm gonna hold off on this as well. We do have resources online. I'm gonna send this to you. We have great social media templates. We have listing presentations that are custom to you and white labeled for Keller Williams, Palos Verdes. So you can add a logo, we'll add your photo, and you can utilize that. If you are not able to get in touch with me, which I highly doubt, because I'm always making myself available, you can go on our website and you can have a marker with your contact form as well. So I want to end by sharing with you some project examples, case studies that we've done. These are all on our website as well, but I wanted you to see the return that we've had, the time it takes to do the project and the before and after. So this is a property in Manhattan Beach. It's $2,750,000. We put in $146,000 in renovation costs. It was a $929,000 property. And this was 9 weeks worth. Now, I'm all about transparency. I do know the guy that bought this house is my neighbor-ish, and he got into a bidding war with another person. So they both wanted the house, which I think drove up the price, but still. We were able to come in and fix it up, which got a lot of attention, right? It got people interested in seeing the home, wanting to make these types of offers, and that's what we do. So this was 9 weeks of work. As you can see, we updated. We want to make sure that, you know, the carpet, people don't really like carpet, right? So we're going to put in flooring, painting the walls white, right? Updating everything, making it more modern, making it more turnkey. 2.675,000 renovation costs, $425,000 profit, 6 weeks. Right, so these are quick jobs that we go in and we get done. I love this because the wood paneling is old, it's outdated, right? But we kept the contracts with the wood framing, with the white walls, bathroom, you can see it's very different. Again, 6 weeks. So for remodels that we're doing for a pre-sale, we would do projects up to $500,000. Which is a significant amount of money. Okay. For projects where clients already own the home, they just want to do a renovation, there is no max. We will do however much they want. We just invoice them every 2 weeks for the job. So they're not paying us at the close of escrow. But you can see the kitchen's like night and day, and the walls, everything painted, it just brightens everything up. And yeah, we get the homes, we're getting the homes ready for the masses, right? We're not fixing it up for the homeowner. A lot of times people say, well, what if the homeowner loves the property? We're not fixing the property up. So we don't have these situations. And when they start getting, you know, very active, we're fine with having clients tell us their opinions and what they want to have done. But if it starts going off the rails and we want like accent walls, we might politely say, this is not going to help the sale. It's not going to maximize your investment, which is why we are here, which is why we had this conversation. $1.2 million, 68,000 in renovations, $307 profit, 307,000, excuse me. We resurfaced decks, we resurfaced pools. Again, bathroom, ripping out the penny tile, just looks so much nicer. 2.6, 218,000 in renovation costs, 5 weeks, $682,000 profit. And as you can see, the pool, we resurfaced, kitchens all updated. We do a really good job taking photos of bathrooms that look like chaos. But it gives you an idea and what we can do before and afters. And I actually put this together in a presentation that you can print out or have it on an iPad. And if you go to a listed presentation, this could be a great selling point for you. Yes.
Do you also come to the house like to say before the listing? How do you completed the photos of what that house was like? So when we are at the listing, we have this before I know what the photo was like.
Like, do we do a rendering of the home? We do not. No. So what would happen is if you're trying to win a listing, is that pretty much the question?
More of it.
I think when you have the initial conversation, you can also bring me on and have me. I'm happy to talk to your clients and be a support extension of your team, so to speak. I can explain our program, but I would say if you are going to the home property, have your listing presentation and maybe have this with you and say, by the way, you know, here's an option. If you are looking to fix up your home, here's some things that our partner has done, and this is what we can do for you. And if you're interested, we can have someone come out free of charge to do a walkthrough, put together a scope of work and an estimate. to get a designer to come to your home. Outside of this, they're gonna charge you money, they're gonna charge you for their time. Right, we're not doing any of that, so I think the best thing is telling your client. There's no obligation, there's no cost, you're getting an option that you can say yes or no to. Would be my recommendation. And this is the last one. Any other questions that I can answer for anybody along here? Again, I'll stick around, so if you want to have some one-offs, if you have a potential client or property you want to talk about, happy to do that. And I'll send this out as well.
I have one question. You mentioned like staging, decluttering, junk removal. So obviously those are some of the more like basic services you guys offer. Is that also invoiced through escrow?
Yes,
Okay, wonderful.
all of it.
Everything.
If it's pre-sale,
Got it. Okay.
correct. Yes,
How does it be post-sale? So you still have to pay you guys back within a year, or is that?
we invoice every 2 weeks for the job. Yeah, so we don't ask for, half upfront or, by the way, if you ever work with contractors, the most I can ask upfront is $1,000. I believe it's the case. But yeah, so if it's just paying out of pocket, we invoice them every 2 weeks and there's no minimum or maximum. All right, well, I appreciate everyone's time.
That was very Thank you. Yeah, a couple things, I mean, to really consider with that is when you're going on, not going to help you get listings, that's a big thing, but when you are getting into conversations about commission, right? Well, hey, I got a program that can make you an extra $500,000. Maybe I don't need to cut my commission rate down, to 1.5% or 2%, right? And I'm getting you more money. I'm getting you way more money than you paying me an extra $0.5%. That could help us really protect our commissions and provide value to them. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, they make more money than they would have. We make more money than we would have, and we protect our commissions as well too. So I think that's really great.
Yeah. One thing to add too is our contracts, the way they work is that if a home has to stay listed on the MLS. And so if they, let's say 6 months go by and the home hasn't sold, and your client says, we're gonna list with somebody else, that will void our contract. Because it has to be relisted on the MLS with the new agent. So that protects you as the agent, the listing agent, to secure, yourself as the new person.
That's another great reason because that it's that listing definitely locked there with you as well too, right? Especially on those high-end properties where we don't want to invest a bunch of our time and a bunch of our money into getting that listing or getting that listed, and then ultimately we lose it, right? Cool. All right, Daniel, next slide. Again, I'm going to spend some time on, we show it every week. If you have open houses that you would be willing to let agents hold open for you, make sure you let Daniel know. And if you are looking for open houses, make sure you reach out to Daniel because he knows the ones that are available as well too, right? Daniel, next slide. Some upcoming classes and events. We have our training calendar online again, so if you haven't got this yet, make sure you put this on where you scan this. This will embed basically or give you access to our Google Calendar, which you can save on your phone. And then you don't ever have to worry about, okay, where'd that email go, or when's this class or when's this event? Everything will be on there, which is really nice, right? Next slide. Grant is going to come up and talk in a minute, but I also want to report on a class he's going to do. He's going to do a command workshop on the 25th, which is this Thursday. From 11 to 12, really quick, Grant, what are you going to be talking about in the workshop?
Yeah, so it'll be color Williams command. So it'll be showing people how to start importing contacts in the command. So I'll talk about it when we go there, but it could be one by one, like open house leads, or maybe you have like all of your sphere of influence on your phone and you're trying to get that into command and take advantage of some of the features command has, like auto text and emails and whatnot. But I'll talk about it.
Cool. Daniel, next one. We have.
I heard Michelle's gonna speak about this. She's in.
Is Michelle good?
Michelle, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, guys. I'm on Zoom.
Make sure you take the whole time for a second, Michelle. Daniel's got to turn up the volume here a little bit so everybody can hear.
Michelle, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, Michelle, tell us a little bit about the house party.
Yeah, we've been waiting for like 2 years to do this house party. We were originally going to use Bill Roof's house, but now Edward Barrios has kindly obliged his home in Lanada Bay. And it's $20 to attend. It's really fun. It's going to be like a backyard barbecue house party. There's going to be drinks, music, and a cornhole tournament, which you can enter. And it's $15 to enter the cornhole if you want to do a tournament. The winner will get a gift card or two, as well as the funds will support RAF, which is the Realtor Action Fund, which we'll speak more about when we're there. John D'Amico will be there, president of the board next year, and it's just going to be lots of fun. So you'll get the address once you purchase the ticket. We'll disclose the address of the property. We just didn't want to put it out there, but call PVPAR, or if you are our board member, South Bays are welcome as well. But if you're a board member, you could go online, PVPAR, and register there, or you could just call and then you'll get the address emailed to you. Okay, guys, I hope to see you there. It's going to be tons of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And so thank you so much, Michelle. Who is the cornhole champion? All right. Tournament.
That's what.
There's nothing important. And you were probably drinking and throwing those bags. So if it's sober, that'd be better, right? All right, so next slide, Daniel. We have a tech class today via Zoom. I'll be teaching that to the whole region. So we're going to talk about the agent websites, and that is going to be Daniel. Move the thing down there, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Zoom. So scan the QR code. That'll give you the link to hop into that session. All right. So let's do a little, just about an hour going over the agent sites. Got maybe a camp coming up on August 12th and 15th. I'm not going to talk too much about this because we've been talking about it, every week for the last few weeks. But again, it's a really great experience. It gives you a chance to connect and network with top agents in the company. And they're going to be sharing all of their secrets on what they're doing to be successful in the current market right now. So that gives you a chance to really gain some good cutting edge insight on what's working today in real estate. And like I said, Michelle is going to be honored at Mega Camp for being our regional cultural ambassador. So you get a chance to see her on stage in front of thousands of people, getting awarded or recognized for the amazing things that she does, right? All right, next slide. Duncan is not here because he had another engagement he had to be at. But he called me yesterday and said, "Hey, I got a couple things I want to share that I think are really important. So I've got a couple slides. I don't know if I can explain them kind of as well as Dustin. But this one's pretty easy. This just shows you a change in home value after 10 years, purchasing a home and holding it for 10 years of your home and profit every year except for one since 1942. So 2006, right when the market kind of started to crash, but the only year that if you had held your home for 10 years that you didn't make money, right? So the big kind of moral of the story is, and Gary Keller always says this kind of quote, there's never a bad time to buy a good piece of real estate. So if you have buyers on the fence that are like, rates are high, or I think the market's going to come down, or whatever, right? If you buy right now and it's a good property and you hold it, you're going to make money no matter what, right? So like, good example of that, going back to this time period, if you bought it also in 2006, in 2008, you were probably thinking it was the end of the world because you lost half the value of your house. But if you didn't need to sell it, are you up right now? You're up by a lot right now, right? And so ultimately, I think that this is a good slide. And Daniel can share this with you if you guys want a copy of this with your buyer consults. Daniel, just send it out to everyone, right? So I think this is a really good one to put in for your buyer consults. It's really just goes to show that, hey, buy a good piece of real estate, anytime is a good one, right? Trying to time the market. All right, next slide. Betting against the champ, 75-6 since 1941, right? And so it says, look at through history, 1943 through 1947, prices up compounded 118%. 74 through 79 prices up to kind of 93%. Everyone focused on 2007 through 2011, right? So we think that, oh my gosh, I could lose money, but there was only this really short period of time since 1942 where we didn't have appreciation, right? Anybody know what the national average home appreciation is on an annual basis? That's 4%, right? So think about that for a second. Even if I only hold, let's say, forget the 10 years, if I hold my house for 5 years, I'm up 20%. I mean, and this is the national. Do our home prices in California appreciate higher than say North Dakota? Yeah, so the rest of the nation brings our numbers down. But if you just take a conservative 4%, 5-year period, I make 20%, $2 million house. Right? That's a significant amount of money, right? So again, just make sure that you have that vernacular in your head that there's never bad time to buy a good piece of real estate. Okay. Next slide's Daniel. So, all right, Grant, come up and tell us some title tips and a little bit more about the.
Absolutely. Well, hello, everybody. For those that haven't met, my name is Grant. I'm a title rep for Fidelity National Title. Today, I just wanted to share, like John said, a little bit more about the 2 classes I'll be doing. So, one is this Thursday at 11 a.m. broken up into 2 workshops. What this first one will do is going over Keller Williams command, how to work with contacts in the system. So this is something that pretty much all of you are paying for as a product of being Realtor at Keller Williams, but there's a lot of really great features in there that I used as myself when I was a Realtor at Keller Williams before being a title insurance rep. So if you're starting at like ground zero and computers are something that's scary, I promise this is a class that I think can still be really helpful, and you'll be able to have the ability after like doing open houses or meeting people at networking events, how to put them in command, how to set them up on really nice automated systems. So you're able to contact people, keep your face in front of people without actually having to do a lot of that work yourself, and importing contacts into command too. So let's say you have 800 people on your phone that you want to start putting on email blasts, monthly or newsletters, whatever they are. I can show you how to get those from your phone, your Gmail, whatever it is, format it in a way in the Keller Williams command that makes it really nice and organized down the road. So you're able to do a lot without actually having to do a lot yourself. So that'll be the first class, and the second class is going to show you how you can use some of Fidelity National Title products that all of you have free access to, and how to utilize some of that data that we're providing for you, homeowner data, or most likely to sell homeowners in the area that you're reaching out to, and how to get those into command also. Those can come with phone numbers and emails. So you're starting to reach out to people, get them on emails too, and a lot of these things can be automated also. Those will be 2 workshops. I do think we have a sponsor for this, so we'll have lunch. Usually in the title classes or something that I'm looking to provide, but I think we'll have some pizza, salad, food, and drinks, and stuff like that. So bring your laptops, and it will be recorded this time. So it's on Zoom also. So if you can't come, you can be on your computer, you can watch, and if you can't make it also, you can watch the recording. I'm always happy to sit down with you too. Like let's say you just have something in mind you want to implement in your command, just let me know. I'm happy to help you with that. And the second thing, I know it's been like the last couple months or so, I've been sharing a lot of information about like the different products that we have, and that's what I'm just doing right now about Fidelity Polo Farm. I thought it'd be helpful to start together like cheat sheets that you can keep around, like if you're trying to find what products you should be using for the different needs that you have in the day-to-day, because I know it's really varied, like what you're needing on a daily basis, depending on what client you're interacting with and what you're doing with that client. So what I wanted to do is kind of give you like a sense of like the main things you use our different products for. So for example, like Fidelity Passport, if you ever have a need to generate property profiles. So things like buyer consultations, moving for orders, listing presentations, everything that will come in these property profiles, and then exactly how to go about doing that. So I know you're not using these things every day like I am, so it might not be easy to remember all of the different features and the apps that we have. But I thought these could be helpful if you're ever like looking for something, you can't really remember exactly where you go with Fidelity products to do that. Here it all is for you, but also you can always text. So let's say you're in a bind and you're driving around and you have this presentation coming up in 15 minutes and you need like a nice property profile that's comparable sales, title history, transaction history, property tax profile information. You can just text us. We'll have it over to you really quickly, and we can have it in digital form, but we also have a lot of materials that you can bring with you to this presentation. So let's say you wanted like one of these property profiles, but you wanted it in like a nice booklet to include some of the information about remodels that you can have, free homes, you can have that for you too at the office. So we're part of your team also, so anything that we can do to make your lives easier, make you stand out in those presentations, we're happy to provide those. And then lastly too, in terms of like marketing materials or farming materials, I've showed a lot of flyers like last month or so too also. So I know it's easy to get the flyer here, but I know how things go with papers, like we use them in our cars and stuff. So what I wanted to do is kind of put together like a nice library that all of you can go to later, and I keep adding these week after week and more flyers. So let's say you're looking for things to start to like hand out to people at your open houses or your door knocking or events or whatever. It's kind of a nice library that you can go to and check on these flyers. And then what we're able to provide to you is anytime you see one of these, and let's say you're like, hey, that's really cool, I want to start door knocking with that, I want to put that on my website or include it in my next newsletter to my clients. Just send that to me. Say, hey, Grant, can I have this one personalized to me or my team or whatever it is? Or maybe you see something on here and you have a question, feel free to ask me too. We're pretty much always trying to find ways to like help you in your business. We're doing a lot of these things on the back end to try to like let you just talk to your clients and whatnot. So hopefully I see people on Thursday. I know these classes sometimes get caught in the shuffle and stuff, but I think this one will be recorded, which is nice. And I do think Color Williams Command is awesome. It's just like a system that can make your lives easier. It's something that I utilize, not Command itself, but like CRMs that allow you to put in contacts, allow you to like tag them and filter them and interact with them. And I know it seems like a lot of like new things you have to add, but it's a lot of like front loaded work. But once you get these things, your lives just get really easy. All you have to do is just focus on talking to clients, meeting with people, which is why we're all in this business. That's what we like to do. We don't like sit on the computer a lot. So hopefully I can help with all of that. If you have questions, let me know. We're resources like everyone else here. So thank you for the time. I'll be here after the meeting if you ask questions. Thank you.
Piggyback really quick off what Grant said in terms of, it would take the time if you haven't to really start engaging with I'm not going to just throw command down your throat, just technology in general, right? Because ultimately, Gary Keller has said that for years, I've been in the business 21 years, and I think that long, I've been hearing technology is going to replace real estate. One of the things that Gary always says is that real estate agents are not like travel agents or fiduciaries to our clients. They're always going to need us. Technology is not going to replace that. What is going to replace the agent is the agent learns how to harness and utilize the power of technology is going to replace the agent that doesn't. And simply put, right, just talking about time. If I know how to utilize the technology, I have that leverage. And as Grant said, yeah, there's a little bit of work up front to get everything set up. But once it's set up, you can automate so much. And if I showed you how to save an hour a day, because you don't have to spend as much time doing some of the things you would normally manually do because it's automated. An hour a day doesn't seem super significant, but an hour a day for a week, now we're talking about 5 hours, an hour a day, 5 hours a week times 4, now we're talking about 20 hours for 12 months, now we're talking about 240 hours of time.
Right? You're talking about the consistency of it.
Yeah, well, the consistency, that's the whole another benefit. I'm just talking about the time aspect of it. If I have an extra 240 hours of time, I need to take one heck of a vacation. or on the other end of it, that's like, an additional 6 work weeks that I get back that my competitors that don't utilize it don't have. And if you don't think that's significant, how would you feel if I told you, hey, that farm that you have and that sphere that you have, I'm going to spend 240 hours this year basically attacking that, right? So make sure you learn how to utilize this stuff because there's agents out there that are, and if you don't think that it's a real thing, Cody Gibson, who is one of the top agents in the country and now the director of MAPS, basically said that, always kind of says this, is if you look at just not even 10 years ago, if you go to Mega Camp Family Reunion and you're selling 100 homes a year, people are like going down to be like their God and that you're this most amazing person on the planet. He said nowadays, and it's true, if you basically sell 100 homes a year and you go to Mega Camp or Family Reunion, they pat you on the back and they say, don't worry, you'll get there someday. Right? Because these agents, these top agents are learning how to use leverage and technology and people and systems and building and growing teams. And they're coming after whose business? Everybody else's, right? All right, cool. So Daniel, next slide. Hey, Justin, but I'm not shiny. And we covered that stuff. All right, Alicia.
Right, I am obviously not Paige, but I'm gonna speak on behalf of Paige today, your MCA. Who wants to get paid faster?
Yeah.
I do.
Alright, well, John, you can go take a break. Who wants to get paid faster? Everybody in this room should wanna get paid faster. You guys work long and hard for your commissions, so by the time that check gets into our market center and Paige has it, she wants to give it to you. It is burning a hole in her desk when it sits there. I can promise you that, because she's like, I have this check. I'm like, it's okay. She's like, no, I have this check. I wanna pay them. But we do need your help. As you guys have seen over the last several weeks, we've gone through a transition internally with our systems. We have a new software that is hooked up with Command, which is where you guys put your files already. We need you to submit your commission tab as soon as possible. If you're not familiar with the commission tab, come and see myself, schedule some time with Paige. I will show that to you. But we need you to submit it basically as soon as you get into escrow. You can always edit it. If you have a price change, if you give a credit, there is an opportunity to edit that commission if something changes to your commission. And again, when and if that happens, come and see Paige, myself, John, Benny. We can go over that with you and show you how, but the key is to submit it right away. And we have to make sure that it gets submitted right away because it actually has to sync with the MLS listing. If it's not synced with the MLS listing, we literally cannot get past that. So, and we cannot do that for you on the market center side. Unfortunately, we did have an agent where it took almost a week because there was an issue getting that MLS listing synced. That bug has since been fixed. And everything is running very smoothly now. The only time we're seeing delays is if you guys haven't submitted that commission tab in.
Well, two things, you have to make sure, because it's not a bug, there was a bug.
There was.
Because there's an issue as well too, where if you haven't gone into Command and synced your MLS command,
Correct.
which the agent have to do, but we can't do that for you. Then, bug or not, if you haven't synced that stuff, it's not going to work. So if you don't know how to do it, make sure that you come in and we could maybe arrange a quick training on that.
We can do something.
So you can learn how to basically sync listings, but yeah, it's really important that you put the stuff in the system as soon as you get into escrow. That way, as we're kind of navigating our way through this new upgrade we've done to our system, there's no delays.
And it actually is a lot faster. So of the people, that have their commission submitted and it's ready to go and that check comes in, it's very smooth. So again, if you have any questions, come and see myself or Paige. We want to make sure you guys get paid. And then before we go to the next slide, who has a cell phone with them today? Everybody? Everyone in here has one. Okay, get your camera ready. Before we go to the next slide. We should all text her because Paige is take a photo of her. Oh, having fun. Next slide, Daniel. It's okay.
We gotta remove the link from that page.
Scan that. And then I'll tell you. Okay. So E&O renewal. If you're a newer agent, maybe you haven't gone through the E&O renewal process. If you've been here a while, you know that every year we have our E&O renewal. We have to have insurance that protects you guys. So you have a couple options. You can pay your E&O monthly with your market center bill, or you can pay it up front, which is only going to be $400 this year. That was a drastic drop in the price. So thank you, leadership team, Manny, Zen, Alan, Cohen. I would agree with you guys. So for everything going up, they managed to negotiate our E&O policy to actually bring this down for you. So you actually have a much cheaper insurance bill this year. So fill out that Google form. That should take you to a Google form. Fill in your information. Let us know what option you want because Paige is going to be processing those when she gets back. You're going to see it on your August bill. So whether you choose monthly or you want to pay the whole thing, that's going to come out in August. Does anybody have any questions about E&O? Did everybody scan the QR code? Okay, just making sure. It also went out in an email, so you may have already done this, and if you did, thank you. But otherwise, scan that so that you have it. If you miss it, check in with myself or Daniel. We can make sure that you guys get it later. And that's it. Go to the next slide. We'll move into escrow. For escrow today, We won't sing, but I had to have Amelia in here. I mean, all of you have spoken with Amelia. She's one of the kindest humans that I've ever met. I could not do what I do for you, with you, without her. She is literally, my rock in escrow, and she keeps things moving. She's amazing. So please take the time this week to wish her happy birthday. Her birthday's actually tomorrow, but y'all here today. So want to make her feel extra special, and just thank you so much for all that you do for all of us. Happy birthday.
Really fast, these guys out of here on time. Daniel, go to the first slide. If you want to bring this up again, plan for it. We're having our next night. So if you guys have agents that are interested in the real estate industry, or not agents, if you have people that are interested in becoming an agent or getting into the real estate industry, really good, about an hour and a half long session where we just kind of talk a little bit about what it looks like to get into real estate. And so this is not necessarily Keller Williams, so we jam Keller Williams down their throat. We just talk about the real estate industry as a whole and kind of how we start to go down that path. So people that want to get into the business, make sure that you let them know about this, and we can get them all the info they need to attend the program. Right. I want to put this slide up here because I'm going to be leaving tonight to head back to Northern California to get with my family to fly to Amsterdam. And we're not necessarily going on vacation to have fun. We'll have fun, but my oldest daughter is getting married a week from and so I'll be out to attend Joachim and Lauren's wedding. So that's kind of my schedule. I wanted to give you guys a heads up on where I'm going to be and why and the dates that I'm going to be gone. That way you don't just walk into the office and go, oh, John's out again. It's COVID and I was out, and then now I'm going to be out for this for a little bit. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on what the dates were and why I was going to. Cool. Now I'm really nervous that my wife told me a couple weeks ago. She goes, "You realize you're the father of the bride, you're going to have to actually give a speech at the wedding." And I was like, not because I get nervous about talking, because I do it all the time, but it's like just the pressure of, hey, I want to mess up this speech or say something like that. I want to make sure I say the right things and do all that stuff. And so it's amazing talking about technology. I wanted to write something really good, so and I'm a good writer. It's just sometimes I don't know where to start. You did that right. So I read the chapter and I said, give me the framework for a wedding speech at your daughter's wedding. And it literally gave me these bullet points that it didn't tell me exactly what to say, but it basically said, these are the things you should talk about. Insert a story about the child in here. Insert a story about, how they've grown as a new being. Interested, talk a big story about the couple, right? So I was like, this is amazing. Cool. All right. Before we hop into this playbook sheet, I want to go over this really quick. So I was presenting this to David yesterday, and I thought this was really, really valuable. Just take a second. But sometimes we get stuck in the mud. We don't know where to start. Does that ever happen to anybody? Anyone have? Right. And so I think that, especially if we're talking about lead generation and getting consistent with it, and talking about database and stuff like that, sometimes people will tell me, hey, John, I got like 10,000 people in my database. How do I really connect with that many people? And if I put people on a 36 touch, now that's like lots and lots of touch points, lots and lots of calls. I don't know who to call in that particular case because I'm not going to be able to do quarterly calls to 10,000 people. So what do I do? What's the perfect size 36 touch? And so I wanted to kind of give you guys this simple map that I worked on when I was coaching maps that I do with my clients. So I wanted to share that with you because I think it's really, really valuable, especially now as we start to dive back in to database and maybe really working with our sphere a little bit more. I'm going to give you guys the perfect size database. and not this perfect size database, but at least the ones that I can pay attention to. Right, so basically what I always, the activity I always do with people is, give me the number of people that you're actually willing to talk to on a daily basis. And I always tell people, be realistic with this, don't sit there and say, hey, I'm gonna do a whole 100 every day, because you're not going to do 100 contacts every single day, all year long. Most people won't. I mean, you know some guys in New York. But you know, that's not necessarily everybody. So I always basically start out by asking people, what's the realistic number on conversations that you can have on a daily basis that you can be consistent over time? I'm not talking one time, consistent with like every day. So like, let's say for example, hey, you tell me, John, I'm gonna be realistic. I'm not gonna sit there and I know I should be doing about 20 contacts, but I'm not gonna do that. I can be consistent. Okay, cool. So if you're willing to make 10 contacts every single day, then on a weekly basis, work 5 days, that's going to be 50 contacts a week. And then if I make 50 contacts a week, what I need to then determine is how much am I going, how many weeks am I going to got 52 weeks in a year, right? So let's say, hey, I'm going to take a 2-week vacation. I'm going to go to a camp and family reunion, so that's another 2 weeks. And then between all the holidays that are out there, probably not going to make calls on some of the holidays. So that's going to probably, it's maybe 6 times, so maybe that's another 2 weeks. So you say, okay, well, I'm going to actually probably work 46 weeks. So now, if we do a little bit of math here, you guys didn't think you were coming into a math session. Right, so I'm going to do 50 contacts a week times 46 weeks. That's 2,300 contacts in a year. Now, according to the MREA, how many times should I contact people in my database? The same person. How many times? 4, right? So that's 2,300 contacts total. So what I need to then do is the 36 touch doesn't work unless I contact somebody 4 times, right? So now I'm going to take that 2,300 and we're going to divide that by 4, comes out to 570. So based on the work that I'm willing to do, right, I can have 575 contacts that are on a quarterly call plan in addition to the 36 touch spec, right? And so this is basically what I tell you, go into your database, tag it. This is my A prime people like circle of trust, golden people, whatever you want to name it or tag it that way. But those are the those are the people I'm really going to focus in on, and they're going to get a quarterly call every year, right? About how many transactions, not typical, but I'm saying if you do a really good job with 36 touch, and this many people you're calling quarterly and building really deep relationships with, how much business did you get out of it? Just this. Anybody know the math from the RA? Max finds these numbers. It's about for every 6 people that are in your database, or 12 people, for every 6 people in your database, you should be able to get 1 piece of business from every 6. Meaning not all of those people are going to buy, but they can refer you business too, right? So we're talking about 100 transactions could be available just from this 575, right? So we need to really make sure we focus in on this. Now, people might sit there and say, hey, John, if I got 10,000 people in my database, what do I do with the rest of those? Well, these are the ones that are going to get the real need. They're going to get the personal need. They're going to get the calls. They're going to get the invites to events. They're going to get all of that stuff. They're going to get the real John. The rest, the 9,500 that aren't on that list, they're going to get the automated John. That's why it's important to have that stuff into your database, because now I'm going to put them on automated drip campaigns. And even if my closing rate or conversion rate is lower on these, let's say I take it down to 1%, right? 1% of 9,500 is how much? So the automated version of me that's not making the calls to those people, if I just converted it in an internet lead generation conversion rate, that would be another 9.5 deals. So if I could pull 90 deals from this and 90 deals from this, would that be pretty good? Yeah, that'd be really, really good, right? You'd be one of the top agents in the country. So, point of the matter is, we need to really get good at that. Now, the last thing I want to go over really is like, put this on your desk or on your table, it says the Ultimate Buyer's Console. I just want to share this really quickly with you. We're going to go over on to the team meetings, kind of a chapter or a play from the MREA play. And I thought this one's timely because ultimately we're talking about buyer consoles right now because of all the changes with NAR. So this is one of the top agents that shared what they do when they're communicating with buyers, and I want to make sure that I shared that with you. So we're not going to read line by line through all of this stuff, but this is from Carrie Worsh in Springfield, Missouri. And it says Carrie successfully represented more than 2,000 buyers with over 230 of them in 2022 alone. Right? 230 buyers in 1 year, right? So she knows a little bit about working with buyers, I think, right? So basically, this is kind of the format that she puts in her buyer presentation. The only thing I would add to this is obviously you got the buyer too. So if you look at the first thing that she has in there, it says this is the classic conversation framework. She's asking questions around, you want to talk about location, where do you want to move to? What's your motivation? Why do you want to move there? Have you got to talk about the mortgage and if they qualify for mortgage? What price point that they're looking to be in? You know, are they working with an agent and then making sure that you set an appointment? And then the buyer DNA form is basically a form that they get to the buyers to help them or to help you with that to set up that meeting. So you want contact information from them, the personal information, their financing on how they're going to pay for this house, and the wish list, what's deal breakers and the must haves. And then there's going to be a page in there on meeting you or your team. So if you're a solo agent, page about you, why? Because people like to do business with people they like, know, and trust. So tell them a little bit about yourself, right? So you got to make sure if you haven't written a good bio, work on that. If you need help with that, it's an English major. I taught English for 10 years, so you know we with that, right? But make sure that people aren't going to do business with you if they show up to your website, don't see a bio, and there's a ghost picture because you haven't put anything on yourself. And if you have a team, obviously, make sure you have a team bio as well too. And then basically, Carrie explained that every buyer still has 20 steps broken into 2 phases. Phase one is finding, securing, and inspecting the property. And then phase 2 is focused on closing the transition, right? So make sure that you have those conversations on, you know, finding properties and then how you're going to close the properties. Right? Page 5 or this 5 is on why you should work with a good buyer's agent. So tell me a little bit about some of the things that a great buyer's agent is going to do for you. And if you are newer and you don't have that information, so make sure that you reach out to me to go with that. Number 6 is your hours of operation. Don't be one of those agents that says, you can be at 2 o'clock in the morning, I won't answer because make sure that you set your expectations on when you want to be contacted, how you're going to communicate with people, because it just makes it easier right out of the gate, right? That way they respect your time and they know when they can get a hold of you and what the communication is going to be as well too, right? So make sure that you set that up as well. And then the 7 commandments. What this one is the page lists the most common ways that buyers end up harming themselves because they just didn't know. Shut up, like, don't change your jobs while you're in escrow. Don't go out and buy that car while you're in escrow. Don't buy a new credit card while you're in escrow.
Don't buy any washer and dryer.
There you go. Buy a new washer and dryer, so at least on credit, right? If you have the cash in your bank account or whatever like that, and it's not going to hurt your funds and you want to pay cash, that's one thing, but don't finance anything. So go over the 7 commandments. 8 is mission and promise. Here you explain your big why or your mission and your customer promise. Key is you're trying to build the relationship with buyer and who you matter are matters, right? So make sure, hey, here's what I do for buyers. Here's why. These are the things that I do because people want to do business, but with people they like, know, and trust. They want to know why you do what you do, right? So that really helps strengthen. And then the last thing is the loyalty agreement, or we'll call it basically a buyer or broker agreement. Commonly referred to as buyer RPA. Carrie will not work with the buyer without. So this is what she has no choice now. But prior to this, she got all her buyers to work as signed by her broker, right? Because if I'm gonna go out, my time's valuable, and if I go out there and I'm gonna work really hard for you to help you get what you want, with the price, terms, and conditions that you want to get them in, and I spend a lot of time and invest a lot of time, I expect you to be invested in me as well too, right? So I thought this would be a really good thing to share with you guys, and we're gonna be doing more classes next month on buyer consult and buyer presentation.
This is great. The question is available online.
Well, this is in that, this is in the MRA playbook, so you have to buy the playbook, so we can get this out to anybody that wants.
Does it break down the number 7, page?
Not just a video.
It's one page.
Yeah. Basically, she gave her outline, and this is kind of what you need to be talking about and stuff like that, and then you can write one of yourself. Right? But if you showed up, or if you were armed with a buyer presentation, had all these things, you'd be better than 99% of buyer agents that are out there on day one. Right? Cool. Al, you have anything to add or wisdom to share with us before we break to go out to
Are the buyers?
not with anything. We got one of the best agents around that's been in business forever. We want to make sure we're carrying or looking for you as well too. And always
We have the following sound. I'll keep you out of court. People sue agents or whatever. You can say. Never been to court on real estate. You have. Probably get done. It's one of my sound ones. All agents are in community. I'll keep you out of court. So, you know, you can put them on say, they say, well, what do you mean by that? I have a legal staff that will advise me if there's something I'm going to do. Audit, you know, I just think that's a silver bullet.
I love that. Awesome. All right, guys, anything that you guys got? Live today on the tour, but there are some good homes available to go check out. So make sure that you go check those out and then see
Tomorrow, is that when all the new forms are gonna be out on the Northwest?
yeah, I think they publish them tomorrow and they go into effect on August 17th. So you can start looking at all the new forms. Is that correct? Form release tomorrow?
Some gonna be released tomorrow. Like you mentioned, so everybody here on the Facebook group, on the office private group. So I'm gonna share the link right now, so you can see the quick summary, all the forms, and then you're gonna see the red line version of the forms. So for example, the BRBC, the buyer broker agreements, the new listing agreement, lease listings agreement, etc., RPA, all those changes, they delayed them from June. And like you mentioned, tomorrow they're gonna be available on the Z form. Okay, so, and as John mentioned, in August, we're gonna have more changes. I'm also gonna share an image of the timeline. With what to expect. Okay, but yes, there was a batch of new forms in June, tomorrow, second batch, and more in August, and November. It's a fun year, a lot of changes. So I'm going to go right now.
Cool, love it. All right, anything else or any other questions? Great. All right, thank you guys. Let's be after it.
Thank you.
I think something happened.
So they're really good, and then the sweet one. Yeah, I-
Good stuff. Have a good day.